Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us for episode 13 of Enter Coin to Play. I am your host, Greg. With me today, as always, is Ariel.
Yep.
And Cheech.
What's up, guys?
So there wasn't too much news this week, but we do have a lot of information about new releases that came out that me and Ariel have been playing vigorously, I would say. But, yeah. Ariel, how was your weekend?
Sucked. Had some wisdom teeth extracted, so I was out most of the time, didn't really get to play much. What I did was probably the Division for a bit, and then just lingering in just whatever other game. But yeah, kind of sucked.
Just sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember when I got mine pulled out. I was like 13. I got two on my left side pulled out first, and then the other two later on. So I think that's just like how yours is going, right?
Yeah.
And all I remember was taking Tylenol, sleeping, and waking up in my own drool, and just blood everywhere.
I still have all of my growing slowly.
Really?
Oh, man. That was the worst part, is all that freaking blood in your mouth, and then they tell you can't spit or you shouldn't spit. So you're I'm just there, in front of the sink, just letting it just kind of seep out of my mouth. It's fucking terrible.
Really? You can spit it when they tell you to wash your mouth?
No, you can't even wash your mouth on the first day.
Yeah.
You can't rinse it. They tell you not to spit. You don't suck through straws. It's like, what the fuck can I do?
Not take drugs and go to sleep.
And yeah, pretty much. And then you just have blood constantly in your mouth. That's terrible.
Oh man. Cheech, you gotta top that weekend.
I just mainly actually, what the heck did I do last weekend? Oh, I finished the season 1 of Walking Dead from Telltale series. It's actually pretty good. I loved it. And after that, I just hop into Halo like I said I was gonna do. I was gonna start doing the rankings, so I played a lot of that.
So that video that you made, is that from your weekend?
Yes, that was from my weekend.
Yeah, that was a good video. Did you watch it, Ariel?
The one he posted where he got like what do they call it in the game where you got 4 kills?
Quad kill.
Quad kill or quadra kill, whatever it is. Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah,
with the grenade.
Yeah, that was perfect. Yeah. Everybody was going to the flag. I'm like, oh, this is my moment right here. Throw the grenades.
I was like, oh, he got that off.
You must have been spamming that grenade, because I saw you toss one, and I just saw you toss the other one right after.
Right. And the moment I saw like 4 people just jump into a flag, I'm like, this is it. That's it. This is what I'm waiting for.
And all those bodies.
And I was just spraying the freaking gun left and right, like, okay, whatever else to scatter the damage.
That's pretty good. Yeah, you should make some more videos if you can.
Yeah, well, right now I have a little Xbox Vendetta going on, but I'll probably go back to it. You know me.
Is it because of your controller?
Yeah, Cheech, you're down to 2 consoles now.
I know, like what's going on with me, right?
Oh man.
Sorry, I was just saying, swig of my beer.
It's just a little annoying that most of the games are underperforming on that console. I rather just for that. It's just if I'm gonna play console, I would just do the best I could get. This time will be Sony.
Well, the best would be PC.
I said if I'm going to do consoles.
Oh, okay.
I specifically said that clearly.
I wasn't listening. I was drinking my beer.
We know Master Race can't even compete with Xbox One on Quantum Break. Microsoft shit.
It's so bad. I remember reading the tweet that you showed us that someone was having Arkham City flashbacks with it.
I think that was the dude from PC World or PC Gaming. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those magazines.
Yeah,
it's so bad. If you guys don't know, Arkham City was so terrible on PC that they actually had to pull it off the market and give it like 5-6 more months. Right?
Yeah, it took a while longer for it to get up to snuff. It wasn't until like a few months ago where I jumped back in and I was like, oh my god, it's maintaining 60 frames.
Well, maybe they'll fix it just like Gears of War, because Gears of War recently had that same problem, right?
Well, last time I went into Gears of War, actually, it was still stuttering a little bit.
Yeah, Gears of War stuff.
And you still had the audio sync issues where it would just kind of like cut in and out.
Oh, okay. I guess that's not too bad. Well, it's still bad.
But I mean, if Microsoft is like hailing that they want to be back in PC, I mean, at least do the effort, right?
Mm-hmm. They're not like I feel like they're not even trying. They're doing the bare minimum.
Yeah, I mean, you know how they praise how quick you can port the X12 game from Xbox to PC. I think you're just doing a quick port and that's it. Get it over with.
That's exactly what it feels like.
Quantum Break is using the exact same resolution technology, or the whole reconstruction of the picture to 1080p in PC.
Which makes no sense whatsoever.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, it's 720p and then it's upscaled depending on what your settings are, right?
Yeah.
That's just weird.
So, based on calculations and count them, pixel counting, apparently 4K is equivalent to 1440.
Well, you know what? If you guys didn't know or you haven't heard the news yet, the director of Quantum Break was saying that they actually postponed this game to this time just because Microsoft didn't have anything release.
Which is true.
Quantum Break?
Yeah. It was actually, they purposely delayed it, not to improve the storyline or improve the performance. It was more so to spread out their games.
Damn.
And that's directly from the director of Quantum Break.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, what exclusive game has Xbox had since the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
Nothing.
What did they have at the beginning of the year?
Nothing.
So it was just Quantum Break. Imagine if Quantum Break would have released last year instead. They would have had nothing until when? Freaking damn it!
It would be September.
Yeah, September. September, then October with Gears of War. But I mean, we'll get into that later. But yeah, I mean, they had nothing.
Because September is always Forza, so September would definitely have been the new Forza. They probably would have done the Sea of Thieves beta probably during summer, and Gears of War beta, which is this month.
Yeah, I mean, right now at least for Sony, I mean, my plans are okay. Next month, you got Uncharted when it comes to exclusive, and then the next following month I got Star Ocean 5, and then so on. It's like I have something to play.
Yeah. I mean, even for this month, Sony has Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
It's looking pretty good too, actually. Yeah.
Street Fighter, if you want to say it's a console exclusive, which was back in September. Which I'm still playing, so I don't mind. A lot of haters out there.
It flopped.
Well, I mean, the game is still improving, man. It's still improving, but
yeah.
With Quantum Break thing, what gets me about that, like what you guys just mentioned, that it's just been practically sitting there collecting dust until they found the proper release date for it. Why didn't you work on the PC port properly then? Like, I don't understand.
Well, according to them, they actually made a statement saying that they put a lot of work on the PC version, and he was actually going to explain a few things, and apparently had like a big thing of explanation to do, but they shortened it down to a few sentences because people will apparently get the wrong idea. So let's see what they would say. I mean, right now they're taking feedback and whatnot and the issues that people are having with the game, but the whole point is, I guess this is how they wanted to release the game. They wanted as filmic as possible. But I mean, some of the technology they use.
That's the thing, yeah. Like I understand some people wanting to have like a filmic kind of vibe to their games. I mean, Mass Effect kind of did it. They also included film grain and like post processing or post effects, similar to that. But it's like, give people the option to turn that shit off. I hate motion blur. I hate film grain. Give me the option to turn it off.
I'm with you on that. If I had the choice to put that... what game was it on PC that had that and I had to turn it off?
I remember Mass Effect being one of the ones that I played, and I was like, why is this on here by default?
For some odd reason, I didn't mind it on Mass Effect. I don't know why. It was the only game that actually was okay with it.
Oh, yeah, I think it was Mass Effect 2. I actually played Mass Effect 2 and 3 on PC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I had to turn that off immediately.
Yeah. I don't know why in Mass Effect, but when you turned it off, everything just looks so much crisper. I was just like,
that's the thing. Like, that's what I don't like about film grain. It's like you have an awesome image, and now you're throwing shit on top of it to ruin it. You know what I mean? I'm like, get that out of here.
We'll talk more about Quantum Break later on. As for me, this weekend I had a party. I didn't get too drunk, though. Because I was kind of the host.
Yeah, you had to keep your mind straight for some of the after-party events.
Yeah, and had to clean up and everything. A lot of people came, or a good amount of people came, I would say. Cheech didn't come, Ariel didn't come, but Ariel's getting his teeth pulled out, so can't blame him. Cheech was busy. He couldn't make it. But it was good. And then Sunday, I played a good amount of Salt and Sanctuary, which I which I finally faced one of the harder bosses. Because most of the bosses that I played in, fought in there, it's just like, oh, this is pretty easy. Standard repetition in terms of their sequences, so I was able to just block and dodge. But this one was kind of difficult because what it is multiple platforms. The name of the boss is a tree of men. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's man, not men. And basically, you jump on the platforms, and every so often on the sides, like a flamethrower would shoot out. And think of a willow tree and people hanging off of it.
Okay.
And then the people that's hanging off of it are throwing fire at you, like in an arch. Then you have the flamethrowers on the side. Some of those platforms break. If you go all the way to the floor, you can actually fall off the bottom platform, which is just pretty straight, and then two empty things on each side, the left and right. So you fall in, you fall to your death. And then if you decide to stay on the bottom, the giant tree guy would step down, cause a shockwave, and that makes you fly off the stage also. So this boss was pretty annoying. I actually lost about 10,000 salts on him. Or 10,000 souls, whatever you want to freaking call it.
This game is called Salts. I like how, the game has very much a Bloodborne feel to it.
Yeah.
Or, in terms of its design, I would say. It looks awesome. I don't know. I'm interested in playing it. And the only reason I don't buy it is because I feel like this is going to end up on PlayStation Plus soon.
Not soon, but I can see it being later on.
Over there, especially with the indie streaks.
Yeah, but it's been getting really great reviews from a lot of people. I didn't check Metacritic, but most of the reviews that I've seen gave it like an 8+, which, the only other one that actually comes to mind is like Rocket League, where everyone was just universally loving it. Great game though, but I'm going to try to finish it this upcoming weekend, so I'm ready for Dark Souls 3 next weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, besides that, me and Ariel have been playing Quantum Break, new releases. Well, we'll talk about that now. Couple of them, Dirt Rally. I don't think any of us are going to get it, but if you like driving games, that came out this week.
It's supposed to be a really good one, too.
Is it really?
Yeah, because that's the newer one that was on early access on PC, I believe, or on Steam. But yeah, it was getting pretty good reviews.
Okay. I never played any of them. Have you guys played, Ariel?
I played one in the past. I mean, standard racer for the most part. I mean, I'm not heavy into racing games, but I play them every now and then, depending on how I'm feeling. So I was interested in that one when it was released on Steam.
If you're an Xbox member, like Games with Gold, they actually did have Dirt as a free game like a couple of months back. I loaded it, but I didn't get to play it.
Actually, I have it on my wish list on Steam. There you
go. Okay. You should pick it up and test it out on your 980.
It's set that it's $60. I don't feel like right now. I'll wait for a sale.
Okay. Cheech would love this one. RBI Baseball 2016. Look, he has no response.
Really?
No response.
Really? Come on.
Well, okay, not because you're Spanish, but because...
if you tell me MLB The Show, which is an actual proper baseball game, then yes.
No, but out of the three of us, you're the only one that watches baseball and actually has a baseball cap. Am I not right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. See? But still, that's a crappy, I don't know, arcade. I completely haven't even looked at the game because I'm okay. You got MLB The Show, which is an actual proper baseball game against something, I don't know, something that has a bat and a ball.
Yeah. Yeah, the show is the only one that's actually licensed by the MLB, so.
That's really the only real licensed game out there.
Pretty
right?
much.
Yes. Yep. At least if you want Cheech, you can play this with your Elite controller.
Listen, I'm gonna get the little dongle that I could play my Elite controller with a PS4. Done.
Do it, and tell me how it is, because then maybe I'll get.
Yeah, I will do it depending, when I get tax money and whatnot, the leftovers. But I'm definitely thinking about it because I'd rather use the Xbox controller than the PS4 controller.
Actually, playing Quantum Break right now with the Elite, I'm like, okay, I kind of miss this controller. It's solid. Mm-hmm. Another one that came out, which I'm only going to mention it just because if you buy a used copy for it on eBay, it's expensive, is Mega Man Legends 2, which you can play on the PS3 and PSP and Vita.
Nice.
So, if you guys don't know, Mega Man Legends was a PS1 game where it was actually like a 3D Mega Man. And they actually made three of these games. It was Legends 1, Legends 2, and The Misadventures of Tron Bond.
PS Vita is still alive?
It's still...
It's there.
Yeah, it's there. People over-exaggerate it. Just because Sony aren't making their first parties make games for it.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a whole list that I want actually from it. I might start using it more often.
Yeah, so there's a lot of games that actually still come out for it. But it's a lot of third-party games, so... People are like, where's the first party? It's like, you want to make God of War again for it? I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
But the biggest one this week, which came out yesterday, April 5th, Quantum Break.
Yep.
Harry, you want to go first with this, or you want me to go first?
1 out of 5.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, let me ask you this. Did your PC version come in yet?
Actually, I haven't checked that. Are you able to get the code through the app?
It's 7 to 10 days. That's specifically you get actually.
No, but because it's supposed to be a system message, right?
Yes.
So are you able to see it through the Xbox One Smart Glass?
Yeah, because it's on your message. Actually, it came to the point where you are allowed to refund the game.
Are you serious?
Yes. It showed up on Reddit. Apparently, Microsoft support refunded the game because you had to wait 7 to 10 days to get your PC game code, which originally you wanted to play it for that platform or pre-order for the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, you're saying people can return it, will get the code and then return it, or you're saying that...
No, they can return it now, but they won't get the code, obviously, because they didn't fulfill the promise. I mean, they really never explained that you're going to get the code 7 to 10 days afterwards, if that was your original platform to play it on in the first place.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Because a lot of people mainly bought it to get the PC code. It's like, fuck it, I'll get both copies,
Yeah. They just like, I might as well get it for both, but they didn't know it was gonna be 7 to 10 days. Okay, I get you now. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I mean, it's a code. How did they not generate a code quickly?
Does that make sense?
So, whatever. Ariel, what's your thoughts on it?
Oh, why don't you go first?
All right. I can understand why. Or overall, if you guys see the reviews for it, it's been overall positive. Mm-hmm. But there's been some crazy ones. I'm gonna call them crazy.
Crazy?
Yeah, because Polygon gave it like a 4,
mm-hmm.
and GameStop gave it like a 6.
Mm-hmm.
I call it crazy just because the game itself is actually pretty solid. It functions well, doesn't crash. There's no bugs that I ran into. And the reason why I'm going to say those are crazy is because they are basing it off subjectively instead of objectively. And the reason why with this game, people complain about it being with the lower score is just you are kind of forced to watch. The game itself is both a platform action adventure. Well, not platform. It's just an action adventure integrated with a television show. So the story-wise is good, and then when you go into the TV show, it kind of gets a little cheesy the way it actually plays out. The best way I can explain it is you're watching like a CW show. If you see
we all know what the WB is, Greg. We know the real channel's name.
CW. If you watch shows like The Flash and Arrow, you can see how cheesy it is. But then they also do some weird camera angles at times. I don't know if you noticed that, Ariel.
I actually noticed that watching the stream. Like,
it's like some weird angles that they do during the action scenes. Is like It's like a throwback to the 90s.
A lot of movement and whatnot, too.
Yeah. Well, the movement is okay, because they still do that. But there's obscure scenes, like when the guy's on the computer and they're doing it from, like, the bottom left corner and it's pointing upwards, and you're just like, okay. Or the camera's tilted. And when they do those scenes, and you can skip them, but you're going to be missing a big chunk of the storyline. So you're kind of forced to watch them if you want to understand the story. And being forced to watch it, it's also, people get flashbacks and have compared it to Metal Gear Solid 4, where the majority of the game is really a video. But, I mean, because you don't like those scenes, the game itself doesn't mean it's bad. It adds to it. It's a good change, I would say, or a good first attempt to integrate the two. Gameplay-wise, it's solid. Gameplay-wise, you have special powers. You can use special powers. You run around, you shoot. There's some platforming here and there where you're just jumping to different platforms, trying to climb up a wall. And you use your time powers to solve just a little puzzles here and there. But that's most probably used just to, like I said, just to break up all the action. Because a lot of the action is kind of, it's very, people say repetitive, but I don't like using that word because any game can
all games are repetitive by that,
by that definition, yes.
Yeah.
But you can, depending on what power you use, you can actually change it up. But it pretty much goes story, action, platform, action, then story. That's how pretty much out of all the acts that I've done is kind of how it is. And if you don't think about the story and you're not invested in the story, you're really not going to like this game. Because this game is actually more story driven than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Which is why it's mostly like I said to you guys, it's like Max Payne and Alan Wake had a baby, and this came out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I played Alan Wake 2, and I like that story. Action-wise, that was a pain, and this actually does improve in terms of action to that game.
Yeah.
Ari, what do you think?
It's a solid game. Now, you mentioned GameSpot's review earlier, and a lot of people get upset over their review, but the thing is that the way they're doing their reviews now is different. They're being a bit more strict in the way in which they give out scores. For instance, the way they say it is a 9 should mean something, because more and more they find that people just throw away 9s, right? So they're kind of harkening back to that old review scale that actually I think it was Cheech who sent us this scale, reviews back in the 80s and 90s or something, early 2000s versus reviews now. I'm not sure if that was you or Cheech.
I did remember something like that.
Yeah.
It's probably Cheech because I don't remember.
Yeah. But it pretty much, brought up the point of how nowadays for a game to be considered good, it's got to be at least an 8. If it's not an 8, then it's trash. And that's how it's kind of seen nowadays. When in reality, a 6 isn't a bad game. 7 isn't a bad game. And people look at it and they're just like, oh, it's trash. It got a 7, and so they're kind of going by that scale. And the 6, I could see why they did it based on their review scale. But in terms of my experience with the game, it's a solid game. The story's intriguing. The characters are fine. Like Greg mentioned, I'm not heavily invested in them, but I like seeing where the story is going so far. I'm not too deep into the game. I think I'm only into the second act. My main issues with the game are
the AA.
Well, the AA is okay. Like they kept, you could tell it's being blurred to death. That's the thing. It's like the AA is there. But the aliasing still shows through. It's just that there's so much blur, like that I see at least, between the motion blur in the game, then the film grain. It's like they use so much like post effects to kind of mask some of the things that would probably be visible because of the fact that it's 4 720p images being reconstructed into a 1080p image. So that's an issue that I got over. It's still there, and I'm like, God, it kind of looks a little washed out. But the performance of the game is fine. Like, although it's 30, it feels smooth. It doesn't feel bad.
Yes, it does feel really smooth.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the game overall, the gameplay is although you have cover-based shooter sort of mechanics in there, it doesn't really want you to do that. because the enemies will come after you, they'll shoot you, whatever. They kind of want you to move around and be active using your abilities, which is cool. It gives you a reason to use the powers, the time-based powers, and which are fun to use, actually. My favorite one right now is the one where you can just, charge the blast and it'll just like rock them all.
Time bomb. Yeah.
The time bomb. Yeah, I love that one. Yeah, the abilities are fun to play with. Aside from that, the only issue that I have with the gameplay itself is the platforming, like I was talking to you guys previously on, which I feel is kind of like there and not really adding much to the game. And personally, I felt that if they were going to do it, they should have made it more of a spectacle, more of a set piece, similar to what Uncharted and Tomb Raider do, to kind of add more to it and make it more exciting. But that's just my stance on it. But overall, it's a good game. It's, if you own an Xbox, definitely get it. If you enjoyed Alan Wake, Max Payne, either of those games, you're going to get the type of story that you would get with Alan Wake, but also get, sort of the gunplay that you would get with a Max Payne.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what's pretty good about it. Actually, the gunplay. I don't want to.
No, there are certain things with it though, because you have to aim to shoot. So you can't shoot from the hip. That's not in the game. I don't understand why that's not there.
Yeah. But there's auto assist if you're playing on an Xbox anyway. So
there's heavy auto assist. There are like auto aim or whatever. There's times where I'll just press the trigger and it's bam right on the character. I'm like, God damn, can I at least aim at the guy?
But I'm playing on normal and I'm not having trouble with any of the enemies. You get too many powers to actually help you not die. Mm-hmm. I would say in this game I've died more from the platforming stuff than anything.
Oh, wait, you can die from that? From falling and stuff?
Well, not the falling, but like I said.
Oh, yeah, the shelf.
I told Cheech and Ariel, I've died by shelves falling on me. I've died by, actually I died by a car exploding next to me. Oh, that was another cool effect. The game has really good particle effects. The enemy blew up the car right next to me, and I kind of mistimed my time stopper attack, and I hit the car, and the car just froze there with the explosion. So I was like, oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the way they do their time in this game is pretty sweet. Where it has, you could see it affecting the world. It's not just you're slowing down everything, kind of like Time Shift. Do you remember that game?
Oh.
Or anything either slows down or speeds up, and that's how you control time. Not in this game, you actually see the effect of time shifting and doing all these other things. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then they have the little debris that's just hanging around, and then if you walk through it, they move. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's actually a nice touch. But
even on a side note, even when you do the time bomb, and sometimes you see the enemies just kind of hanging there stuck in time.
Yeah,
that's pretty dope. Also,
yes, yeah. They also did a pretty good effects in the live show with it in terms of the time being stuttering. That's what they call it.
Oh, time stutters, yeah.
Yeah. That's one thing though that kind of bugs me in this game. There's certain in-game cutscenes where the characters are talking to each other, and I don't know why it's happening, but there's sometimes a force field. They'll be over around my guy or the next guy. And you just see it just
it looks like ghosting, right?
It's ghosting or a shifting of mirrors. There's hanging mirrors, so you see their faces in multiple places. But that's because of the stutters. And I was like, why
is it? Because I'm is this part of the motion blur? Get this.
Yeah, it's just why is...
I'm why is this there? I remember who's the not. Oh
no, I think Digital Foundry actually mentioned that it's under tech a video where it's due to the construction technique and the way they do it. Sometimes the frames are a little all over the place of the picture, so you might see a duplicate or a shadow ghosting somewhere.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Oh my god, it looks really bad though. To be honest with you,
most of the time it looks okay. Yeah, but what were you saying, Ariel?
No, because there was a time I was just what's your best. The best friend's the guy who's running the company now.
Oh, Hitch. Hatch.
Martin Hatch?
Yeah, Martin Hatch.
Yeah, him. There was a point where you're playing as the friend of the main character.
Jack.
Of Jack Joyce and his brother. And I'm looking at the guy, Martin Hatch or whatever his name is, And he's just standing there moving his head, and you see this ghosting effect. And I'm like, why is that happening? This is just like blurring the image even more.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of weird. I was like,
Yeah.
they're just talking. Why is it going crazy like this?
Yeah.
That kind of like pulled me out of the scene, and I was just like, this is pretty bad. But I mean, you don't see that too often, but when it does, it's just like,
Yeah. That's part of like the motion blurring that I was referring to. It's part of like, just the game being blurry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, so it's something like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, overall, great game. Once I'm done with it, I'm going to lend it to Cheech, so he'll probably talk about it some more next week. Hopefully we didn't spoil too much. Trying not to. Not in this one, since this one's a story-driven game, but pick it up.
Yeah.
Pick it up to be like a good action-adventure.
Yeah, and the TV series portion of it is actually, I stayed up for the whole 25, 30 minutes that it was, and I was like, I'm actually into this.
Oh man, that was terrible.
What was?
Remember I told you guys, but if you guys want to know, I actually got the game kind of early, only a day early. I got it on Monday. And when I got it on Monday, you were only able to stream the episodes. And when I was streaming the episodes, for the first 3-4 minutes of it, it wasn't buffering correctly. So they were.
Oh, what?
So the video itself was stuttering. The live action video was stuttering. The sound was in sync, but I guess the video had to catch up.
Yeah.
So on Tuesday, if you had a copy of the game, you can officially download the videos, which is insane because
yeah.
I guess it's uncompressed video, and therefore it's 71 gigs.
That's insane.
And
I'm fine with the streaming,
Gotta get
man.
the blood quality.
Luckily, since I started playing on Tuesday, I had no issue with streaming it. But I am not downloading 71, like 70 something gigabytes.
But Cheech is right. It is kind of like high quality, almost Blu-ray. I mean, it looks nice.
No, it does. It looks crystal clear.
But yeah, I downloaded it while I was at work. So when my system was in sleep mode, it downloaded. But so yeah, 71 gigs. And that's the reason why is, one, the game itself has different choices, and that affects what episode is shown. And then there's also all these little things that you collect within the episodes or within the chapters, which can add an extra small scene or small item in the show. And that's why these are so big. One of the terrible thing I'm going to say about that is like, I remember seeing this one thing where it's a statue, and then I saw it on the show, and all it is a guy holding the statue in the background. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a unique statue. So once you see it in the game, and actually in the game I saw it twice, and then you see it in the show, I'm like, was that really necessary? Is that part of the reason why these episodes are so humongous in size?
Well, you figure they had to film each episode different ways, right?
Yeah.
So they probably have different, because it's how many? 4?
She told me there's four chapters, so I'm guessing it's 4 episodes.
Yeah.
So you figure there's probably like 12 total variations, if not a bit more than that.
Yeah.
Of each one of those episodes.
I guess so. Also, word of warning, last thing I'm going to talk about Quantum Break. When you're playing a game and first it's chapters, and then chapters are broken into acts, but when they're broken into acts, you actually just go into a new area. Thing is, you get this, in the beginning of the game, you get this thing called time vision. And you can spam it. It reveals the location of items and also reveals the location of enemies. However, there are these power-ups that you're going to run into. You probably ran into it already. Right? Yeah, so there's these white lights. You look, when you hit the time vision, a little circle will pop up in the middle of your screen, and then a smaller white circle will point you in the direction of these. They're called like Chromosonians power.
Yeah.
And you use that to upgrade your powers. You can't go back to an area that you already were, so you would have to actually search the whole area before you move on to the next one. It's really easy, but
you can usually find them.
Yeah, but
once you use the time vision, there's like this little circular thing that kind of points you in the direction of where it would be.
Yeah. I didn't find that out until like part way into the second chapter, so I kind of missed all the items within.
Wow.
Yeah. And I thought you can go backwards, but you can't. So, words of warning, use it all the time. I'm literally running around and spamming that button just so I don't miss anything. So yeah. Cheech, when you get it, just do that. You'll level up all your powers.
I'm just gonna run through it.
You're just gonna run through it. But yeah. If you guys got any questions for us, you can email us at insertcointp@gmail.com. Tweet us at ICTOPLAY on Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube, iTunes, and Libsyn. And like us on Facebook.